Good morning, dear friends and family, on a solar mirror day, coming at you or to you again from the car. It's quiet right now because I'm in a traffic jam. So if this continues long enough, that would be very good for the recording. It is a very short little congestion, but okay. Solar mirror, and I should include the galactic earth from yesterday, which again I didn't get around to doing. Let's solar mirror it first. Guided by the wizard, so in the wave spell of love, loyalty, heart, our reflection, our order, the solar tone, pulse, realize, intention is all about reflecting ourselves back to us. That's just what wants to be said by me right now. I was like, love reflects us back to ourselves like nothing else. I mean, that's a nonsense thing to say. Everything reflects us back to ourselves, but love, yeah. And our heart and the condition of our heart also reflects our relationship with ourselves back to us. It reflects our state of self-love, the way we treat one another, others, very reflective of the way we treat ourselves. I might overstep my own boundaries and not realize it and then bark at you because you're overstepping a boundary which I'm then very much realizing. I may not at all realize consciously that you're overstepping a boundary. I might just snap and not realize why. This is purely hypothetically speaking, of course. But you get my point. So I was like, okay, what's my intention? And how do I balance myself in that? In this day and age where we're talking so much about trauma and how it affects us and how we're almost all somehow affected, and in most subtle ways sometimes, not the obvious abuse scenarios or whatever, but developmental trauma is, yeah. And then you have transgenerational trauma and all the rest of it. Anyway, it's there's a lot of that dance balance between our autonomy, our need for what we need or want and needing to belong, needing and wanting to please others or to fit in or to honor other people's needs and boundaries and our own and all that jazz. I mean, that in itself is like, as far as I'm concerned, that's quite the art to, yeah. And this solar mirror in my personal life, it really reflects back, something I reflect back to myself. How easy or how natural it is, how well learned it is for so many of us, including me, to not notice our own needs, because there just was often no space for it. Expressing one's own needs, it doesn't mean, like, I want to say expressing one's own needs in childhood can be, in my case sometimes, I mean, obviously, I actually want to say it, like, it's dangerous. Or something. And it doesn't mean that every time I express the need, I would experience some weird situation. You know, you may know in your own life, depending on how maybe sensitive you are or how resilient, for some situations, for some things, it's enough that a certain thing happens just once. And there's like a, okay, we're not doing that again. Door closed. And I sense in myself a lot of that very drastic, those tendencies. I have a sense that they are kind of like a little hardwired into me, that they are partially learned, but they're also partially some part of my constitution, like part of what I've come in with. And yeah, undoing, or what am I supposed to be doing here? I have to take another lane, and this is such a bloody nightmare over here. Yeah. May I enter here? I may. Sometimes it's quite a, for me it can put me quite in a place of despair. Feeling, I'm sorry, I'm slowing a little bit. I've got like 100 GPS blurbs in my ear. I'm in a tunnel bridge. GPS location imprecise. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it just feels like it's a lot. It's like too much to undo. But, oh, here's the but. Here's my saving grace. Yeah, this is what I really, really appreciate about the transformative processes, as hard as they often are, and as difficult as it is to get real or honest with some of this stuff. As I go along, my own personal, we're guided by the wizard, my receptivity, white wizard, receptivity. And a wizard also has a lot to do with heart. Am I in the right place? Yeah, I think so. Oh gosh, please. Okay. Increases. And with that, more and more, of course, there's like an increase in awareness of where I'm not stable, or where I'm running patterns that are coping mechanisms of another age that I'm still running, that are completely inappropriate today, but they're so automated. Seriously. And children are easily mendable. Maybe adults are a little less easily changeable. So it's an opportunity to grow patience and self-love, and that is actually happening. And faith in terms of believing that things can get better, things can change, and staying present in moments where I would check out from shame. And often it's shame that masks itself in some sort of sense of self-righteousness, in defensiveness, in blaming someone else. This is this is not easy to talk about, but it's necessary. And it's necessary to state that, for me personally, with the growing courage in facing those aspects of myself that automatically come with this, I find the harder part, with a sense of, it comes with, like, there's the core issue, and then it comes with like a solar system. There's like the core issues like the sun, and then it comes with its own orbiting planets. And they're like shame, blame, hopelessness that things can change, a reduction of self-worth, which just the closeness of the planet in this analogy of self-worth, it being either up or down, it changes so much. And where, if not in this wave spell, with this, to understand and to reflect this solar mirror, to reflect to myself, the more worthy I feel of in my own esteem. And where did I learn self-esteem? Where did I learn how to judge myself? What measuring, what measure to take? I learned that from an outside world. Forgiveness, unforgiveness, coming face to face with my own unforgivingness. That's like unbelievably hard, because that's so deep in my shadow. It's like I don't even know unforgiveness. I don't know what that is. It's a no-brainer to me. It's like, of course we forgive everything, blah 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 blah, but this blanket washing forgiveness is really not either the answer, because a thing just doesn't fully get looked at sometimes. Anyway, this self-worth, this planet of self-worth in my solar system surrounding the sun of some issue maybe, or myself or anything. Oh, my GPS is annoying me. Excuse me. I hate it when my focus gets dragged out of me. Lol. Okay, wait. Where am I? This, as if it goes up, I'm like full of energy. I believe in myself. I'm going, and this and this and this and that. It really like changes. It's the pull on, and it changes the other planets and their orbit and where they're at and all of that. But when it's down, it's like, oh fuck, man, it just goes dark. Life goes dark. Like nothing, a worthiness of everything, self-worth. It's like when it goes down, it takes everything with it. It's so drastic. It's so drastic. And I could go into more analysis of, but why do I do that, and why do I think that's worth it? Because I think therefore I am. Is this thinking worth anything at all? The experience, forgiveness, forgiving myself. What would forgiveness be? Forgiveness means letting something go, understanding there's a program, there's like this planet of self-worth that is affecting me depending on its position in drastic ways. Can I affect its orbit? Can I affect its position? Can I affect its gravity, its magnetism? Can it become stable instead of fluctuating? Can my self-worth be something that is completely independent of what I do, how I act, whether I'm kind or not? Can I still be, and I'm over here, there's for me, like, as I say that, something in me is like, absolutely not. Like, if you are unkind, you are a worthless piece of shit, let's say it straight. It's like, no. And there's like a whole lot of gunk in that part of the solar system. That planet, in its gravitational pull, it attracts, like, it's like a slimy morass. There's something really not healthy there. It's very interesting. I'm somehow thinking of the tarot card from the Crowley deck, a 7 of Cups. This slimy thingy over the cups. The cups inside are clear, but there's still the slime around. So what would forgiveness be? To understand, like, okay, you've learned something about your self-worth attached to and yet I can't there is a way to say, okay, you're living in social situations, behavior and compassion and being kind is important. I acknowledge that, because in this whitewashing, or where am I supposed to be going here? Oh, wrong lane. Am I in the wrong lane? I don't know where I'm supposed to be. Oh fuck, I think I've just taken the wrong lane. Alright, let's see what happens here. Maybe I haven't. Okay, I haven't. Have I? GPS location precise. I'm in a long ass tunnel, but I might still be okay. Okay. Fortunately, with this GPS devices, it just reroutes me. No big deal. That's what I'd like. I mean, that's what happens inside of us as well. We just have to set our sails in the direction of whatever where we want to go. The rest the system takes care of. Solar mirror, I'm diverting, but if we're not clear in our solar intention, in our consciousness, we can't realize our intention. We have to know what our intentions are, and life reflects them back to us. If we're ordering hamburgers and we keep getting chicken nuggets, excuse the analogy, we might not want to blame the delivery guy or the waiter or whoever brings the food. We are not realizing that we are ordering something we're not wanting. There is a glitch in the system, and we need to investigate what's going on. It's a bit of a crude analogy, but you get my drift. So this forgiveness issue of like, I'm thinking of this. What would ... do bangle that people wear? What would Jesus do? What would my beloved dog do? What would I do? What would Buddha do? Whatever our idol, whatever our behavioral models or our icons are, whoever they are, and what would Jesus do? What is Jesus? Jesus would love. Jesus would act with compassion. Always. Can I be that Jesus to myself, in myself? Can I act towards myself with that level of compassion? Can I say, forgive myself, for I know not what I do? Can I say, I notice where I'm having a hard time doing that, I have to necessarily go into like denial or into not realizing what I'm doing because I can't cope with what I'm doing. I cannot forgive it, and because I have a need to be loving and kind to myself, I ban where I can't be loving and kind to myself in the shadow. I split it off, and then I become unloving and unkind somewhere, because that unloving and unkind part in me still needs to express itself. And I'm pleased to notice that it gets easier to remain conscious and compassionate, and to understand, like, what I notice in me is when I come upon something in myself that I really, let's put it mildly, don't like, usually I have a reaction, if I even, like, I want to change it, and something in me mobilizes for action. Change it. And even as I'm saying that, I go tense. I get tense, and like, and then if I notice it's something maybe I can't change because maybe it's behavioral pattern which I can't change right now, I get frustrated. And if I don't want to be frustrated, I have to push that back into the shadow and back into denial. Or I tell myself a story that then comes this lovely planet of self-worth again. You know what I mean? It's like a bloody devil's cycle. I don't know, catch-22. What's it called? In German it's called, I speak too much German. Devil's cycle. It's called the catch-22 in English. So, but I am noticing that I catch myself either just before or as I am reacting more and more often, and then there's always a response to the response to the response to the response. And I don't know, sometimes I'm like, is this a good thing? Can we just go back to the old ways? Like, it was easier. But as I kind of like go more observer, less reaction, I increase my level of choice. That's the yellow human, that's the yellow seed, and that's the white wizard. And that's updating my red serpent, who is attached to the wizard and the eagle and all that. It adjusts my vision. I get it through the eagle. I give myself a space or a moment of realizing what I'm doing or what's happening, and I can take the next moment, instead of going into a whole big, like, okay, I have to analyze this, I have to sit tonight with this, I have to take some medicine for this, whatever, which can occasionally be wonderful and often works, but sometimes it's like, sometimes I think, oh, tedious, like how many times, like how many issues, and then I use the blue storm energy to say, I delegate this to be fixed. I delegate that to my blue night, to the unconscious. Blue hand, blue storm, blue night, blue eagle, and blue monkey. They will transform this. The 5 of them together, with all their musketeers and everything, can take care of this, because I have a moment to say, perhaps how I want to be, or notice that there's something better, and I'm not fighting myself, focusing on it, hating myself, and therefore keeping it in place, therefore energizing it. So I'm very quickly, it's a very quick process, or it's becoming a quicker and quicker process, which I find very fascinating to observe. And then I can move on, then I don't get stuck there like on a piece of Velcro on its counterpart. And there are serious chain reactions to that. Yikes. I say yikes because I have a speed trap app running in my phone, and it gives me like this really annoying sound whenever a speed camera is up ahead, and I'm wearing these headphones, so it's like super annoyingly loud in my ear. Excuse me. Yeah, so solar mirror, and it comes in heel, is it how we say, of the red earth, galactic earth, yesterday in this wave spell. So model integrity, there's the third word, harmonize model integrity. I think that's the 3 words of galactic tone 8. And the integrity of everything we've done so far, always tone 8, this integrity, and we've come from the wave spell of the red earth, after the wave spell of the seed, after the wave spell of, who was there, the mirror? No, can't be, the monkey, etc. It's like the succession of the wave spells is so incredibly obvious to me now. It didn't always used to be, but this, now it's becoming so clear. This navigating, evolving earth wave spell, and now love. And it makes a lot of sense that the occult wave spells are running backwards. They're running the entire Tzolk'in backwards. All the wave spells. So it's first the wave spell of the dog, and then followed by the wave spell of the earth. And that's also very interesting. First you develop love, then evolution. But it all happens in parallel. It all happens simultaneously. There's so much power in that. Pulse, realize, intention. The solar tone is such an... I love the solar tone. It's really a power center, and it's guided always by the fifth tone of the same wave. So in this case, the white wizard. And the fifth tone is like this, the quintessence of love is inside of us. It's nowhere else. You can't find love outside. You can't feel it outside. You can only feel it through your own senses. I mean, stating the obvious, but you know. And that's why the wizard also represents the heart healing, looking within. Guiding this tone of pulsing, intention and realization. So that tomorrow we manifest the storm. Auto-generation. What we love, we auto-generate what we love. I notice lately a lot of tension in my face, and I hate to admit it. When I'm not paying attention, I notice things happening in my face that I automatically really don't like, and they really, really worry me. I'm terribly honest. It's terribly terrible. It's really, really terrible. It seems like, oh, girlfriend, you don't have any issues. But I mean, I'm talking from someone out of my position. I have an ear in my head, a head in my ear, a voice in my ear saying, talk about some real problems here, but no, those real problems are not, this is not the place for discussing the real problems. They got to be solved somewhere else. This is the place to discuss these kinds of problems that some of us are facing. When it comes to what are we auto-generating, and we are the ones who are doing the work within ourselves. We are a part of that driver software of humanity that is taking responsibility and increasing choice and navigating ourselves in this way. That's what I'm here for. I have this. Okay, I gotta ignore this voice, but it's like what's auto-generated itself through a few years of seriously negative thinking, plus living in a country where I'm channeling part of the collective through my own being. I catch myself thinking things that are absolutely not my thoughts, and they don't come around in words. They come around in energy. And I'm kind of saying to myself, okay, I'm increasing in awareness, I'm not increasing in sensitivity, I'm simply increasing the awareness of my sensitivity. And I am feeling this, and I can feel what it does to my face. And as I notice that, that's a case in point, when I notice that, I want to immediately fix it, change my face, break into a smile. Of course, that's fake. It doesn't have to be fake. I can make it real, but if I just not look at what exactly is causing my other facial expression, because it keeps on happening when I'm not looking. You know what I mean? So I'm wanting to look fearlessly. I need the yellow warrior for that. and look at what am I experiencing, what is this, because it's not what I'm thinking, but it's something really subtly different, but it has a measurable and drastic effect, and I am assuming a chain reaction that has a cause that I cannot see. So I can now either investigate that chain reaction, or I can say to myself, can we please, where am I going? I need to then immediately communicate with a blue eagle and say, oh shit. Okay, now I've taken a wrong turn. Let's see, how much time am I losing? 5 minutes. Okay. Can I say, oh, interesting. Can I say, I wanna focus on an outcome that I prefer. I have a long time ago stated or set an intention that I want to understand the works of this stuff. I want to understand the minutiae of it. And now I'm kind of thinking, is that necessary? And how much of it do I have to experience to understand? Because true understanding, a lot of it comes through experience. And I'm like, no, wait. Hold a minute. What was I asking for? I don't want to experience all that stuff to understand it. And yet I understand also a lot of experiences, as difficult as they are, once they have been had, we've passed through them, the gifts they bring are immeasurable. So here I am in a slight dilemma to say, do I want to forego the experience because I'm kind of afraid of it? But by foregoing the experience, I will forego the gift it brings, or what? And my conscious mind is like, I'm overwhelmed. And another part is saying overthinking. That is part of the heart or the earth thingy from TCM. Overthinking. I think it could be part of the earth. I need to make a U-turn. This is a good place to do so. I'm sorry for the silence. Wow, look at this brain. Driving and talking at the same time. Not always. Oh, sweet. Cyclist. Just had a little exchange with a motorcyclist. Behind his very black visor, I didn't see his face, but I wanted to give him a head of wait, whatever. What am I doing? Wait. How am I going? Okay. And he couldn't go because he was waiting for some traffic as well, so that was sweet. Very much a white dog moment. So I love these kind of interactions while we're driving. So this makes life so easy. This kind of being just present and open. I feel completely like, and then the open, and the resonance from the environment is equally open, kind, friendly, well-meaning, and all of that. As soon as I tighten up a little bit, I will interpret fellow driver's behavior or style as aggressive, where it's not at all. They're just fast. Maybe in a hurry, maybe it's just their style, full of energy, but it's not meant to be aggressive, and certainly not personal. But depending on my level of aggression, that's how I will interpret that. Back to that bloody planet of self-worth, which can really determine how I see life. Now I'm driving in loops here because I'm looping and looping and looping to go back to a road that I took the wrong turn off of. And I kind of feel as if I'm looping in this chat here as well. Because I'm multitasking. And now I'm scanning whether I've actually closed all my open loops. I opened a lot of loops. Solar mirror, needing the warrior to ask some questions fearlessly. That warrior is on tone 7 in this wave span. Fearlessness, questioning, and intelligence. That's what the yellow warrior stands for. And tone 7 is resonant. Channel, inspire, attune. Attunement. So I'm done with analysis mode. My brain is like checking out. And I don't need to analyze this. Having said this, it's just, let's resonate with what I've just said. That's just so beautiful. Last but not least, there's the planetary storm tomorrow. That is the planetary storm in this wave. I just can't get over that. That the storm is the planetary tone in the wave spell of love. Man, the biggest transformer. Love. You can have it all. If you have not love, you have but little. You may have a lot. If you have not love, you may still be terribly impoverished. And you may have very little, but if you have love, you are very rich indeed. Blessed and able to bless. Only love can bless. I believe that. You can't think a blessing is nothing. The mind can't do shit. You can think a blessing, it doesn't do jiggly squat. But if you feel it, if you bless with the heart, yes, then we're blessing. Can we bless ourselves? Can we bless our shadow? Can we bless ourselves for doing all this work that is so difficult and so uncomfortable? Can we bless the ones around us in our environment who are struggling with themselves, with their own shadow? The ones who are not struggling with themselves or their shadow because they're not at all looking at it. They're just like, yeah, here I am, this is how it goes. Can we bless them too? I mean, it's amazing. There are tornadoes. You can't ask a tornado to be aware of what it does and then be compassionate and try to be a little bit more gentle. It is not meant for that. You cannot ask that of a tornado. You know, it's like I am envisioning a future in a world where people know who they are, and then we never ask certain things of people who are not that. But, you know, like, I have a very drastic example of a psychopath. Like, you won't ask a psychopath to be compassionate and kind in terms of, like, I don't know, whatever, or a narcissist to be, I mean, ideally you won't need psychopaths or narcissists in that world, but you will have people who are maybe not given toward a lot of compassion. But that's not their job either, and they don't need to be terribly compassionate because they get to be who really they are. They're made for something else. And that's not unkind, that's not uncompassionate, but that's not particularly compassionate either, while others are just like oozing compassion the way your lungs are oozing air when you exhale. It's like, you know, there are those for that. There are some plants that are not made to be lush and green. They grow, you know, there's some that grow tons and tons of flowers. There are some that grow one flower one night once in a year. when we understand who we are, we won't ask the impossible of each other. And that's love. And that's, yeah, I can't ask my liver to do what my heart is supposed to do. I can't ask my skin to do what my liver is supposed to do. And a lot of my body can metabolize, but they do it in different ways. And to understand, we want to be in harmony. Wasn't that warrior on number 7 guided by the star? Yes, it was. Ha. So, harmony, cooperation. To me, that's the star. It's artful living. It's we're being unique. We're being individuals. We may also be part of a pattern where we're not terribly unique, but we're part of a same style pattern, like tiles, like mosaics, like you get kind of mosaics, you know the pattern where every piece looks the same and then they put together and it makes a beautiful big pattern, but each piece is almost the same, like, you know what I mean? Or you get this completely individual, one of a kind only, and all of it in harmony. All of it can be, and the one of a kind, unique, like, isn't in disharmony with the environment, isn't in disharmony with itself. And then we can cooperate to see that I don't always have to have it my way. I can take a back seat and let you have it, you have it your way, or there's only one chance to perform, but 3 of us who really want to perform, we really want to show what we can do, but only one of us can go. The 3 of us have to decide who gets to go, and we have to do it in a way that doesn't leave a grudge, and there are always options, and sometimes we just can't see the options. This morning I had an interaction out of shadow with my boyfriend, and I had come upon a shadow aspect of myself, and I said to myself, the right thing to do right now would be to say what I'm experiencing, and I found myself noticing that I can't, or that I just wouldn't. And I thought to myself, okay, that's okay. But then there was a little chain reaction that I just was a little more touchy. I was already like with one foot in trigger land. So it wasn't a good place to be, but I was kind of aware at least. And then his response a little bit later was interpreted by me in certain light. I would not have interpreted it that way had I not been with one foot in Triggerland already. And when we had a little exchange, hugging and talking it through, he gave me the options he was aware of on how to solve the situation, and I thought to myself, well, but there is a third way, because I can't, I really agree with what you're saying, because, and I didn't want to go into like all the explaining, there was really no time. But and it doesn't matter about right or wrong, that's not what I'm saying either, here's not the point, but the point being, and I thought to myself, how often do we not realize it's not either or, there are options that we haven't even considered yet, and only pure presence, really being present with what is, not dragging our conditioning in, our belief systems, this is how we always do it, this is what I know. Blue hand represents knowing, and it's attached to the wizard, but it's also the antipode of the earth. And if it's the antipode of the earth and the occult of the wizard, and who is it? Who else is attached? There's a yellow human. It's the analog to the human, free will. So I'm now thinking sometimes we have to let go of what we know to become present and to allow something new, to allow communication with spirit. That's why blue hand and attached to the yellow human, and the spirit attached to the human. and the spirit, white wind, is also attached to the earth, which is again attached to the blue hand. So sometimes to breathe, to take away all our preconceived ideas and to see, is there another solution? And often just doing just that, it's the yellow warrior act. It's like becoming so present. You're not looking for a solution. You don't need to look for anything. Just the act of being that present, two people being that present. Nothing, I believe, connects like that. That is connection. And in traditional Chinese medicine, when they say you disconnect your Shen, you disconnect it from Shen, from spirit, from yourself, from connection. You're disconnected from connection. Whatever you want to, there's a disconnect. You don't have to put the spirit word in there. You can call it anything else. That's presence. We get disconnected from being present in the moment, and the abundance of the moment. Blue night immediately follows the white wind. And when we're disconnected, an impulse from the field, let's call it that, cannot enter because we're not present with it. And then we're going into what our head thinks is the appropriate thing to do, or how to act, or how to behave. And my boyfriend this morning was telling me things on how to behave, or how to act, or how not to act, or how we cannot be, or how we cannot, meaning me. Of course, he makes a caveat that it goes for all of us, but how we cannot be like that, or act like that, or we can't interpret, or we can't stand still, or can't keep repeating certain things. And I just thought to myself, you talk like someone who doesn't understand trauma. You don't understand what being triggered, what that means. And my mind agrees with you. The mind says, yes, but you got to be aware and you got to change how you act. It's just logic. It's just so easy. And yet I know a part in there is not. And that part and the logical mind cannot meet. It's like the conscious and the unconscious. They cannot actually meet. It's like light and dark cannot meet. I mean, they do. It's a conundrum, but it's like the minute light meets the dark is no longer dark because there's light. You know what I mean? It's like the way the conscious meets the unconscious, really, like it. Then the unconscious becomes conscious. To the conscious can never know the unconscious. It's like either or. There's an awareness that can know the conscious and the unconscious. What is that again? Words. But it's like, okay, and in that moment I'm just like, okay, I can go, I notice how a part of me wants to go reactive again. I want to push away, I want to blame, I want to say, you don't understand, you don't get it, you're telling me this, you're telling me that, justifying myself. Meantime, another part of me is thinking, okay, Tatiana, how can you solve it? Can you be more aware? What would the wisest decision in this moment be? And I felt like I was doing such heavy lifting, because the parts of me are like, it's like lifting something that is so too heavy for me. It's just barely less than, just barely, like, it's like my own lifting myself, pulling myself up by my own hair is not possible. Defying gravity, that's how it feels. And something in me is like, Tatiana, you can't defy gravity. This is hardwired. You can't do it, not right now, but at least I can be aware of it. And it's a mighty, mighty, mighty strange. It's even kind of strange talking about it, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you can totally understand what I'm talking about. And some of you will totally not, and both is totally fine. I have these parts in me that are like, what the fuck are you talking about? And parts of me like, oh my gosh, finally someone says it out loud. It's like they're listening to me like, oh my god, this is so relieving. I feel such relief. Because like, yeah, like, gosh, I'm not the only one. I'm not alone in here. Like, hell no, you're not. You know, but the feeling of being alone, that's like disconnection of Shen. We all have it. And that's divine. The funny thing is, you cannot ever disconnect from Shen. It's like, you can't. It's an illusion. blue monkey. Illusion. Disconnection is an illusion, but it's a really, 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 really necessary illusion in some of the dimensions we're playing in, and we've chosen to be here. We've chosen to play with this illusion because it's really amazing. White dog, it's love. It's love in a way that only knowing what love is not, knowing the opposite of love, can feel this way. It's yin and yang, it's the duality. It's experiencing life in terms of non-life that can only be experienced here. And when we get that, it's like, Jesus, excuse me, thou shalt not use the man's name in vain. Can I turn her into a she? Ooh, blasphemy. Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Cutting corners. Okay, I mean, that's love, yeah? And that's another kind of love. And when the Jesus kind of love comes, that is not duality, I mean, that's very, very healing, because he is still in duality. Christ consciousness is healing the duality. It's not healing the duality by making it undone. It's healing it by healing the conflict. There is no conflict. There is no need for conflict between the parts, because this dimension is white mirror, endlessness. The white mirror represents endlessness. There's so much space that everyone and everything can have all the space and all the time. Timelessness, white wizard. It wants to express and unfold itself. And even me, even me, like, Tatiana, stop saying that. Like, but the thing is, I say that because a part of me is like, I get it so deep in my structure what I just said, and yet there are parts of me that are like not getting it. That's what I mean when I say that. That there are parts of me that are like living in lack. There is parts of me that run on the assumption I'm not worthy of something, or can't have this and that. And I don't want to drag the past into the present by observing patterns from the past, because everything I observe is a pattern from the past, unless I use the blue eagle and I look ahead. I create a vision for the future that says, I see the past and I use it to propel me into a future that I desire. And I can tell the difference between ego desire and divine desire, or I say it's the same. There is no difference. I reconcile those two with Christ consciousness, because all of life desires everything that is alive can desire, whether we call it ego or not, it doesn't matter. Life wants to fulfill whatever we want, whatever we desire. And it has the wherewithal to do so, provided we are not blocking ourselves from receiving. White wizard, receptivity. Solar mirror, guided by the wizard, by the wizard, receptivity. Focus, attached to the wizard. Serpent, instinct, kundalini, life force, attached to the wizard. Blossoming, flowering, yellow seed. Focus, yellow seed, attached to the wizard. Blue hand, healing, knowing, accomplishing, attached to the wizard. Need I say more? No. This is a perfect place to end it. Oh, I feel fulfilled. This is better than a good cup of coffee. Fill in the blanks. I appreciate myself right now. I appreciate anybody listening, although I must honestly say, since I don't know who's listening, I cannot say it makes any difference, because I haven't any idea of anyone listening. So that's fine. I just love the fact that I keep coming here. I love the fact that I keep doing this. I love the fact that I love this. And I kind of love the fact that I'm braving these waters of facing myself with whatever it is that shows up in this space. I enjoy that. And there's a lot of worry I hear because yeah, no, never mind. This is a good place to stop. Okay, I wish us a gorgeous rest of the day. Morning, noon, midday, afternoon, nighttime. I am having too much of my GPS talking in my ear. Turn it off. But now I have to look at the screen to know where I'm going. So I'm going to say bye-bye and inshallah, see you when I see you. Oh.